4 different countries. Oh yeah, did I not mention it's action-packed? The ReaN Show, August 6, 8 p.m. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new season and a brand new podcast. For every week we are going to be doing a brand new podcast for my beloved team Cardiff City as we go to Ellen Road on the weekend to take on Leeds United Football Club, of course, on Sky Sports. So let's subscribe, like, comment and share, and without further said, we are going to be kicking off this podcast. So before we dive into it, this is a podcast fully Cardiff City and football in general. So if you, even though it says Bluebirds podcast, if you've got a question for me, let me know down below about Cardiff City, and then I will answer them for next week's podcast. So yeah, you can get involved. You can. So get involved. So without further said, let's kick off the pre-season. The pre-season is come and gone. Of course, we played home to Penny Bont. We beaten them 2-0. Then we went into another home match against the New Saints, the Cymru Premier League champions. And then beat them 3-1. Then we went and played Cambridge at home, which we drew 1-1. Then we began a little bit of a Portugal pre-season mini trip, and then we lost against Braga 1-0, and then we lost against Porto 4-0. Now I don't know what the club thought of when they thought of Portugal. I mean, not really a place where the team can basically gain confidence, because against the two biggest clubs in Portugal as well, I mean, that is insane. So yeah, 2 losses in Portugal, and then we went back home in the UK and then drew 0-0 against Wycombe Wanderers. And yeah, so our pre-season record was 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. So now I have a question, actually, because why on earth have we played some random teams? Of course, Penny Bont, a bit of a random team to play, against the New Saints. Bit random, but I do like it. I do like the New Saints. Anything for like from the Welsh pool, obviously. And then Cambridge at home. I mean, Cambridge, I guess, because last time, 2 seasons ago now, we went to Taftswell, and that was a good game to go to. So, yeah. But Cambridge, I mean, we drew to Cambridge. Can't really read much into that draw. And then obviously the 2 losses in Portugal against Braga and Porto. And yeah, I don't know what the manager was learning against the losses. I mean, we did lose only by 1 goal against Braga, but 4-0 against Porto, I mean, I guess so. A bit of sun for the players to get their fitness up and all that, ready for the season ahead. But I mean, can I just go into, I don't know, France or Spain or so yeah. But obviously the weather in the UK is not that great. It's just rain all the time. So yeah, then obviously we drew against Wycombe Wanderers away, and it was like some sort of tribute match for Wycombe, and yeah, so not much to draw out of that, because you can't really read too much into the pre-season, because players were coming and going, they're still coming and going, and yeah, you just need to get I mean, this was a good pre-season, considering we won the first 2 games, and then we didn't. So yeah, Ramsey, his time at Cardiff, obviously watching him back in the day when he first played for Cardiff back at Ninian Park, the greatest stadium for Cardiff City in their history. He is a great player, Ramsey. So watching him back in the day was amazing, and I was absolutely livid when they sold him to Arsenal, because at that stage he was getting amazing. He was improving all the time. So yeah, but how will Ramsey fare? I mean, it depends how much he plays, really, and the more times he plays, more chances he might get of improving, but also picking up a injury, which is never really great. So we'll see about that. So that is the pre-season section of the podcast out the way. Let's move on to some transfers. So we have got a lot of changes since the last season. So we have gotten rid of the former Forest manager Lamucci, and Solbamba. And then we brought in a brand new manager from Turkey, never stepped foot in this league, and yeah, I don't know, I don't really have high hopes for him personally, but the players he brought in, I mean, they're good, yeah, but you know. So yeah, so over time, we got shipped off a couple of players, well-known players as well, that we loved from recent seasons. The players have left are Isaac Davis to a Belgium side, KV Kortrijk, and Tom Sang to Port Vale. I mean, Sang I understand, because I do like the youngsters that played their part in the Cardiff team over the years, but Sang, otherwise he would have just sat on the bench a lot. So for them, for playing actual football, these moves made sense. So other notable players who left are Dillian Phillips, the goalkeeper, of course, ran out his contract, so he got shipped away to Rotherham. Gavin White, another one who stayed on the books for a bit of a while, for a season or two. He's gone now to Portsmouth. Mark Harris as well. Now, I am torn on Mark Harris because I always backed him. He had that pace. He had the potential to be one of the best players in the team. And then they just can't see his potential. And then he just shipped off to Oxford. So, yeah. But I understand that he would have gotten less time on the pitch throughout the season. I mean, he probably would have played a lot as well in the season because of fatigue and all that from the other players we got. So, yeah. Mark Harris, sad to see him go because he was one of our greatest prospects. Yeah, so. Also, Isaac Davis, another one that could have been amazing for Cardiff but got transferred away. So, yeah. So that is players who left. Joined the club players are Josh Bowler from Nottingham Forest, Ike Ugbar from Troyes, the French side, Callum Grant from West Brom, Might from Reading, Dimitris Gutas from Sivasspor, and obviously the most notable one is Aaron Ramsey, who came from Nice, terminated his contract from Nice, and then joined the Bluebirds, just to have a fairy tale ending to his career. And why not? Because he was amazing back in the day, and he is going to be vital to keep Cardiff in the Championship. Excuse me. Right, so the questions I got here. So, do I think they are much needed additions? Well, I think, yeah, our squad lacked the quality, so understandable that we needed a lot of players in. I mean, the previous season we shipped out about 12 players and brought 12 in, so it's great to see how many players come in, but if you don't have the manager for the job, then I'm afraid it's a slippery slope, really. So yeah, but it is a positive. They are positive signings, and generally the morale of the club seems to be positive going into the season. Now, every season seems like a positive, but like I said, I'm not happy. I don't actually know what this manager is about because he's never touched foot in the English divisions before. So yeah, it could go either way really with him, but there are positive signings nonetheless because manager will go, a better manager will come in, even though due to money issues probably we're not going to get anyone good to replace him eventually. And Mehmet Dalman himself brought this Turkish manager in, so if he don't live up to the hype, this new manager of ours, then I can see him getting the boot by Christmas, a bit like Mick McCarthy did. But right, so that is that. So my predictions, right, for what I think could happen to the Bluebirds this season. is 50-50. 50-50. Could go either way. On one side of the 50, we got the bad outcome. So this is if the manager is not living up to the hype, like I said. He keeps swapping and changing the team. People don't know what his best 11 is, and what he basically will do to motivate the players, because they come from different places around the world, really. But yeah, so the bad outcome is the manager gets sacked. Players themselves, because there's unstable, the club, after a sacking from the manager, they will underperform because they don't know what direction the club's going in. Then we eventually, obviously, get relegated. Now, I've seen a few other YouTube videos of predictions predicting Cardiff right where we left off last season, really close to relegation. So yeah, I could see that happening because of the unknown of the manager. The manager is the biggest question mark of our club in recent history, because he's come in, never stepped foot in this division, in the English pyramid, let alone in England. So yeah, I don't have the greatest of hopes for him. So yeah, but I will stand by my thought that the manager will be guaranteed to get the sack, only because he's not cultured in England and Wales, of course, and he's not like he don't understand how the typical English manager works in terms of like motivating players and all that, and choosing the right tactics, choosing the right players to start games. It's all like a big how you say, circus, really. But yeah, I do predict him to get the sack solely because he's never stepped foot in this league before, so in this country really before. So yeah, so that is the bad outcome. But great outcome is that every player who we signed is happy. They get firing on all cylinders, scoring goals, getting assists, keeping possession, all the good stuff. And yeah, then eventually we make the playoffs, but we will lose out solely because clearly there are better teams like Southampton, Leicester and Leeds. All these big teams will obviously make the playoffs and get through promotion by the playoffs. So yeah, I reckon we're going to make the playoffs. That's one of the outcomes I think that could happen. But yeah, our record in the playoffs is never the best, so I don't think we can win in the playoffs if we ever make it there, but you never know. The manager turns out to be a genius. Now, the manager is got to be the manager himself has got to be a genius. What am I saying here? Now, that is contradicting everything I said previously, but it's a great outcome, I guess. That's one of the 50 sides, and then the other 50 is the bad outcome, of course, which manager gets sacked, and then it's a slippery slope from there, and all that jazz. But I can see the bad outcome happening more. The bad outcome is more likely to happen than the great outcome, solely because obviously different players mixing, different cultures, different, obviously, playing styles. I mean, the proof will be in the pudding, really, but I'm guessing that because of his lack of experience in this league, I reckon it will be his greatest downfall. So, yeah. That is my prediction for Cardiff. 50-50, but more so the bad outcome, which the manager will get sacked, players underperform, and we get relegated. So, what do I think on Leeds United FC versus Cardiff City FC? Well, Leeds at home. By the way, this is going to be a big game for both teams to kick off their season, because Cardiff previously don't really get the greatest start to a season. So, but we're playing Leeds United at their weaker side. Loads of their players is injured still from last season. So it's gonna be who can score the more goals, and our defence. I'm not holding out the greatest of hope because we ain't got players like Capri anymore. We got Mark McGuinness, but I don't know. But I reckon Leeds would be too much for Cardiff, especially at Ellen Road as well, which has been a fortress for Leeds United for a lot of the time. So, yeah. I reckon Leeds will... It'll be a 50-50 match, which could go either way. But I reckon the crowd will get lift in the Leeds United team. And I reckon it's going to be a 3-1 home win for Leeds United against Cardiff. Now, that one goal, I reckon, is going to be important, because I reckon that one goal could actually be Aaron Ramsey himself, who can obviously play, who can start this game, but not obviously last than 90 minutes, because obviously he's still coming back from injury, or his fitness might not be the greatest. So yeah, 3-1 to Leeds United at Ellen Road on Sunday. So thank you for watching and listening to this podcast. If you let me know down below your predictions for the game, Leeds United Cardiff City on Sunday on Sky Sports, and yeah, let me know down below what you think on the game, Leeds United Cardiff, two big rivals of course. And yeah, thank you for watching. My name is Sam ReaN. This has been the Bluebirds podcast, the first one of the brand new season, and I will, of course, be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.